When I first read the poem, My Grandmother Washes Her Feet in the Sink of the Bathroom at Sears by Moja Koff, I was really confused by it. I didn't really know what to make of it. Because going to an international school, I've always been in the idea that I get much exposure to a lot of different cultures and that I've seen all of these different cultures work together. But in these, they're not working together, they're working against each other. So it made me really question whether or not going to an international schools and seeing different cultures really showed us the tension that some of them went through. When I first read this, it made me really think that the author was really brave because as a teenager, I know when you're embarrassed when your parents are drawing attention, it must be the same feeling except constantly when it's from your own grandmother. And it also made me question, whose place is it to tell one what they can or cannot do? Is it her place to tell them that they can't tell her to wash her feet there? Or is it the people who work at Sears' place to tell her what she can't do or her to tell them that she can do this? And it just opened my eyes on the vast perception of cultures, such as this is disgusting for us washing our feet in a public store, retail store, and for her it's something necessary for her prayer. So this poem really made me ask myself a lot of questions concerning different cultures and how they work together and against each other. My Grandmother Washes Her Feet in the Sink of the Bathrooms at Sears by Moja Koff. My grandmother puts her feet in the sink at the bathroom at Sears to wash them in the ritual washing for prayer, wudu. Because she has to pray in the store or miss the mandatory prayer time for Muslims, she does it with great poise, balancing herself with one plump matronly arm against the automated hot air and dryer. After having removed her support knee-highs and laid them aside folded in thirds and given me her purse and her packages to hold, so she can accomplish this August ritual and get back to the ritual for housewares. Respectable Sears matrons shake their heads and frown as they notice what my grandmother is doing. An affront to American porcelain, a contamination of American standards by something foreign and unhygienic, requiring civic action and possible use of disinfectant spray. They fluster about and flutter their hands, and I can see a clash of civilizations brewing in the Sears bathroom. My grandmother, though she speaks no English, catches their meaning look in the mirror, says, I have washed my feet over the Inzing tile in Istanbul with water from the world's ancient irrigation systems. I have washed my feet in the bathhouse of Damascus over painted bowls imported from China among the best families of Aleppo. And if you Americans knew anything about civilization and cleanliness, you'd make wider washbins anyway. My grandmother knows one culture, the right one, as do these matrons of the Middle West. For them, my grandmother might as well have been squatting in the mud over a rusty tin in vaguely tropical squalor. Mexican or Middle Eastern, it doesn't matter which. When she lifts her well-groomed foot and puts it over the edge, you can't do that, one of the women protests, turning to me. Tell her she can't do that. We wash our feet 5 times a day, my grandmother declares hotly in Arabic. My feet are cleaner than their sink. Worried about their sink, are they? I should worry about my feet. My grandmother nudges me. Go on, tell them. Standing between the door and the mirror, I can see at multiple angles my grandmother and the other shoppers, all of them decent, good-hearted women, diligent in cleanliness, grooming, and decorum. Even now my grandmother, not to be rushed, is delicately drying her pumps with tissues from her purse. For my grandmother always wears well-turned pumps. To match her purse, I think in case someone from the best families of Aleppo should run into her, here in front of the Kenmore display. I smile at the Midwestern women, as if my grandmother had just said something lovely about them, and shrug at my grandmother as if they had just apologized through me. No one is fooled but I. I hold the door open for everyone, and we all emerge on the sales floor and lose ourselves in the great common ground of housewares on markdown. This poem really opened my eyes to was the question of who are we to judge one another?
Who is she to wash her feet for Muslim religion in front of all these people when it's something personal? But who are they to tell her that she can't? I guess what I really wanted to know and learn from this was, what would I have done in this situation or in the other? And what is real exposure upon all these different cultures that conflict every day without even noticing all the small things we do? So I guess this really opens my eyes on what is culture.